Okay, guys, so we have now seen all three methods of how to solve a system of equations. So the piece of paper that you have is we're going to compare all three of them so you can see that no matter which method you choose, you're going to get the same answer every time. So the first way we're going to do is graphing. This is the first lesson that we learned. In order for us to graph, we know that our equation has to be in slope-intercept form. So if I look at this first equation, he is already in y equals mx plus b form. So he's perfect. So since he's in slope-intercept form, I need my slope and I need my y-intercept. So the slope, remember, is always the number in front of x. So his slope is 3, and we usually make him a fraction, so we're going to put him over 1. And then our y-intercept is 2. So when we go to graph, we're going to graph our y-intercept first. So we're going to go to the y-axis to 2. And then my slope is 3 over 1, so that means go up 3, right 1. And I can also go down 3, left 1. Okay, and then we will get our ruler and connect our line. So that is our first equation. So the second equation, he is not in slope-intercept form. So that means we have to bring him down and we have to solve him for y. So to get y by itself, I need to get rid of this negative 2x. Since he's a negative 2x, I will add him to both sides. Cross out the 2x's, so I get y equals, I cannot add a 2x to a 4. So that means I bring down the 2x first, bring down the 4 second. So now he is in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Okay, so in this one, our slope is 2, the number in front of x, make him a fraction, put him over 1, and my y-intercept is 4. Okay, all right, so we'll graph our y-intercept first, which is 4. And then our slope is 2 over 1, so I go up 2, right 1. Or I could go down 2, left 1. Okay, and then get my ruler, draw the line. All right, so we know that this system of equations has a solution because our graphs intersect. So they intersect at this coordinate right here, and so that's how we write our answer. And if you'll notice at the bottom of your paper, you have the word solution, and it's got a parentheses and a comma. That's where you're going to put your answer. So our solution is 2, 8. So down at the bottom, just put 2, 8. Okay. So we are now going to look at the exact same equation. So notice that's going to be the exact same system of equations, but this time it says solve by substitution. So we are solving the same problem that we just graphed. We're just using another method that we've learned. So substitution, first rule of substitution is one equation has to be solved for y. And we already have one of those. So you take the equation that is solved for y, you box him in, and you substitute him into the other equation for the y. So I'm substituting him right there. So we're going to rewrite this bottom equation, but we're not going to write y anymore. We're going to write what's in the box. So we are rewriting. We have a negative 2x. I'm not going to put the y, I'm putting what's in this box. So 3x plus 2, and then equals 4. All right, and then from here, we just clean everything up. So I've got some like terms. Negative 2x plus 3x, that makes 1x. Bring down what we have not used yet. All right, and then to solve for x, get rid of this 2. So we're going to subtract 2 to the other side. Bring down the x equals, and 4 minus 2 is 2. All right. So remember, all answers to systems are coordinate points. So what we're looking for is we are looking for an x, comma, y coordinate. We just found the x. So I know that the 2 goes here, but you're not finished until you find the y. So we are going to take the 2 and substitute him into, he can go in either equation as long as he is an original. And I've told y'all it's the one that's written in black because it's the one written in your ink. So we're going to take him. I'm just going to pick the top one. Does not matter which one you plug him into. So I'm going to plug him in right there. So I'll rewrite that equation. Not writing the x anymore. He is now a 2. And then plus 2. All right, first thing to solve, 3 times 2 is 6. And then 6 plus 2 gets me 8. So you have now finished your coordinate. So your solution is 2, 8. And again, if you'll notice, you have a solution at the bottom of your paper, parentheses with a comma. And it's the exact same answer that we just got on graphing. It should be, because you just solved the same equation. Again, I'm showing you how to get to the answer 3 different ways. So graphing gave me 2, 8. Substitution gave me 2, 8. So now what we learned yesterday, which is elimination. Okay, so obviously the answer has to be 2, 8. So if we don't get 2, 8, that means we did something wrong. When we learned elimination, we know that these have to be in standard form. This one is good. This guy is not good. So he needs to be in standard form first. So y equals 3x plus 2. If you put him in standard form, that means the x has to be over here with the y. All right, so draw our line. Can't take a 3x from a y, so you put him in the front. These cancel, and now it equals 2. All right, so now you have it both in standard form. Okay, so that means I've got negative 3x plus y equals 2, and negative 2x plus y equals 4. Okay, so to solve by elimination, you are looking for one equation that completely eliminates, one variable that eliminates. I unfortunately do not have that. This is a negative 3 and a negative 2. They do not eliminate. This is a 1y and that's a 1y. Does not eliminate. So you know you're going to have to edit, so we draw our arrows. Okay, the y's are really close to eliminating. The only problem is one of them needs to be negative. So we are going to multiply one equation by negative 1. But remember, you got to multiply everybody by negative 1, not just the y. So negative 3x times negative 1 is 3x. Y times negative 1 is negative y. And 2 times negative 1 is negative 2. I didn't write anything on this arrow, so that means this guy just comes straight over just like he is. Okay? All right, so now I keep saying that we're in 3rd grade, so let's add. So I know that 3x and a negative 2x just makes x. The y's cancel, and negative 2 plus 4 gets me 2. Again, you always want your coordinate, an x comma y coordinate, so you just found your x. So that's a 2. And I need to find my y, so I'm going to take him, plug him into an original. So you can't plug him into these blue ones. You can't plug him into these. You have to plug him into one of the originals that's on your paper. So I'm going to go top. Doesn't matter. If you plug it into the bottom, you get the same answer. All right, so if I plug it into the top, I get y equals 3 times 2 plus 2. 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 plus 2 is 8. And there you go. You got 2, 8. So, once again, we got a solution of 2, 8, which should have been that way. Every equation on your paper was exactly the same. You had the same system, and you solved it 3 different methods. So you solved it by graphing, substitution, and elimination. So no matter which method you choose, you're going to get the same answer. So we're getting ready for our test. We're very close to the end of Unit 4. So there's going to be a section on your test that says you can solve using whatever method you want. So you'll have a section that says solve for substitution, solve by graphing, solve by elimination. But there's a section that says do whatever you want. So we're going to look and see which would be the best method to choose. So on this first set, if you'll notice, these are both solved for y. That means they're both in slope-intercept form. So if I am given a question and they're both in slope-intercept form, I definitely want to graph. That would be the easiest way. So I would definitely solve that one by graphing, because all you do is find your M and your B, you graph it, and then wherever they intersect, that's your solution. So let's look at this set. So this one, I have one that's in standard form, and I have one that's in slope-intercept form. So I probably don't want to choose graphing, just in case if I did solve this one, it's kind of a hard and ugly equation, not real easy to graph. So if I only have one equation solved for y, I'm more than likely going to use substitution, because all that means is I would box him in and plug him in right there. So if you get to that part of your test and you notice that there's only one solved for y, definitely use substitution on that one. Take the one that's already solved, plug him in. And then this last one, neither one of them are solved for y. They are both in standard form. Definitely the easiest guy on this one would be elimination. If you've got both of those guys and they're in standard form, meaning the x is over the x, y over the y, constant over the constant, elimination would be the easiest route. So now you're going to do a classwork that's got all three forms on there. You're going to start with elimination, then you'll do graphing, and then you'll do substitution. So use this video to help you. If you need to rewind it, pause it so you can write something down, or you need to see me work these out again, please use this. The classwork is due at the end of class.